You know, 300 years ago in Korea, there was a monk, and his name was Sok-du. Sok-du means rock head in Korean. And I guess he was a little on the dumb side. So his name was Sok-du. And but he was very, very sincere in his question. You know, he wasn't a rocket scientist, but he was really sincere in wanting to know, what am I? So he went to the monastery, became a monk. They named him Rockhead Sanim, Sok-du Sanim. And you know, he went to all, he was too simple to read sutras. He was too simple to sit. He couldn't do it. It was just too much for him. So he did kind of a working meditation. He worked out in the fields and, you know, did the farming and he did sweeping, and that he could do. And he just kept this very pure, simple mind. And finally, after being there for a while, the Zen master said to him, you know, you really ought to ask me a question. You never ask me anything. So you've been here a long time now. What's your question? So Sok-du didn't really have a particular question either, but he felt he should make up one. So he said, all right, well, you're always talking about Buddha. What is Buddha? And the Zen master said, and I have to think about this for a second in Korean because I don't speak Korean. He said, Jukshim Shibul. Jukshim Shibul, which means Buddha is mind, to this monk. But the monk was so stupid, he heard, if you speak Korean you can correct me, he heard like Jip Shin Shibul. That's what he thought the master said, which means Buddha is grass shoes. That's what he heard. So he's, you know, in his mind he said, what is Buddha? And then the master says to him, Buddha is grass shoes. So he says to himself, oh wow, that is a very tough koan. So that's his koan. But he doesn't, you know, he doesn't try to analyze it, he doesn't Google it, he doesn't ask anyone about it. He just continues to be this really, really simple guy. But he holds it in his mind. He holds this question in his heart. Buddha is grass shoes. What does it mean? Don't know, you know. And he's very sincere with it. And he continues working and he continues doing everything and living at the monastery. And 3 years go by. And one day he's carrying all of this like big wheelbarrow full, or no, I guess it was on his back. He was carrying all this firewood back to the temple. And he slipped, he lost his balance, and he fell, and all of the firewood went everywhere, and his grass shoes went flying up in the air, and when they landed on the ground, they were broken. And in that moment, he burst out laughing, and he got enlightenment. He got this grass shoe, Buddha is grass shoes enlightenment. And he goes running back to the Zen master, and he goes, Master, Master, now I know what your teaching is. Now I know what you mean. And the teacher's like, doesn't even recognize this guy, you know, as the same person who's just been plodding along. He said, what is it? And he takes off his grass shoe and hits him on the head. And then they both burst out laughing. And you know, I've heard that story long ago. It's kind of a famous story in our school, and I don't think I've ever actually thought about it all that much, but I was thinking of it tonight because of just the simple purity of this man's mind, of the depth of his question, of being able to stay with something really, really simple and not have to move on to the next thing, not have to get a newer, better, bigger koan, not to have to like read about it or give up on it or distract himself with something else. Just that, just holding it in his heart. It grabbed him and he stayed with it. And because he stayed really simple, he got everything. He got everything.